Aloha, my name is Kim Williamson and I am the principal for Pahoa High and Intermediate School in Puna in the Ahupua'a of Waikahi'ula. I was a nominee for the Hawaii Elementary and Middle School Administrators Association National Distinguished Principal for 2025. When my wife and I first moved here 20 years ago, we lived here in Pahoa, and when we settled in and looked around, we knew that this was going to be our home. Pahoa is a beautiful and dynamic place, but we face a lot of challenges. As a school, some of the challenges that we have been working on are behavior, attendance, and of course, school testing data. These are only a few measures of the success for our students, but we know these are really important. So when I first came here and became principal, one of the things that we were looking at is what is the separation? Why is it that what we do as a community isn't reflected in the scores and the attendance? And we realized that our vision, it was good, but could have been anywhere in the United States. And we saw that what we were living from day to day was very different, and we decided to come back and make sure that our vision was one that reflects our community and our students and what is important for us. So as we began the process of developing a new vision for our school, we as a faculty sat down and we began to think about what we wanted to be. We see ourselves as a shelter, a place where kids can come and leave the outside world where it is and focus on the things that are important to them. So we talked about bays and being a place where a ship in a storm, that sort of thing, but we knew that we had to come back to the community with this. So when we brought this to community, we invited kupuna, we invited parents, and we sat down, we presented this to them. They took one look at us and they said, no. And the word that they came back with, they said, look at your landscape, look around you. Puna is dominated by kīpuka. And we wanted our school to be associated with that idea that we could be a shelter for our students, that we provide pieces of the past that are important for our kids to take forward and to share with the world, and it's always focused on the future. So we become the repository for the things that we want to see grow and change. And from those discussions, from the notes that we took with our staff, from the notes that we took with these community meetings, we saw 4 values begin to come out just pure and clear. So we had Pono, Lama, Kuleana, and Pilina. We knew that those 4 values, we would be able to shape our community, and our community would be able to shape us. So from our discussions and from the adoption of the 4 values, we began to put those in the center of everything. We began to review our processes and think about how we interact not just with the kids, but with each other as staff members and with the community. So before, when students would have minor infractions and misbehaviors, a lot of times our teachers would remove them from the class and say, okay, you are no longer in the class for this period. We saw that, one, that broke the relationship, and that wasn't something that was going to work well for the future for that student's success. So we began looking at restoration again and what we could do and create spaces for kids that, yes, they need a moment. They didn't do something right. What they were doing wasn't contributing to the Pono nature of the classroom. But they came out, they have moments to reflect, and then are able to come back into the classroom. And again, they're looking at what can we do to make this right with our teacher, and what can we do better in the future. So as we've been doing these things and as we've shifted, our staff has begun to look at not just how do I manage behavior. Instead, they're like, what is our relationship in this moment? What is my kuleana in this time and in this place, so that we can focus on what we're really here for. We need to work on our academics. We need to focus on those basic skills that are going to make our kids successful. When we placed the relationship first and took care of those basic needs, providing that shelter that the kids truly needed, Suddenly, behavior started to decline and teachers weren't working on discipline, but instead working on academics and studies. When we looked at our school and we realized that a lot of our kids needed clothes or sometimes they needed food, we found ways to provide that for them. So we showed our malama in that way, and we started a kukua closet where we have clothing, hygiene products for the kids, and all they have to do is ask and we provide that for them. We also partnered with Food Basket Hawaii and were able to provide bags of food so that kids would be able to come get foods not just for themselves but for their families. And we realized that by supporting our kids in this way, we are also supporting our families in what they're doing at home, making our school, again, a center, a kīpuka for everyone. Through these processes, our teachers have taken ownership of what goes on at our school. The values centered everybody and gave us a direction to look at. When people come to our campus who have seen what we've been doing since 2021, they see the difference, but it's not just enough to see and feel what the campus looks like, it's the numbers. And when we look at our discipline numbers from 2021 to 2025, we've been able to reduce overall Class A and Class B offenses by 40%. When we look at our graduating classes, we've gone from somewhere around 25% of our students going to post-secondary schooling to military, etc. We went from around 25% to last year more than 50% of our students had signed up for some sort of post-secondary outcome. As we look out and you're thinking about this, a kīpuka can be anywhere, and one of the things that I would say to you and think about is that any of us can do this. And when I think about what I've done and what the people that I come to this school with, we listen and we try to find ways to make our values apparent to those folks, but also to hear what they value. And this can be done here in Pahoa, it can be in Waikiki, wherever you are, that's what you can do. Listen to your families, talk less, and try and find ways that you can reflect both your values, but the values that your families bring to the table. It's not maybe a kīpuka for you, but it could be something very similar. And that's what we're all hoping for all of our kids. Just a place where they can come to learn, and that our community supports and loves them as much as we do on a daily basis. Another piece of advice that I would share is to lead with intention. And what I mean by that is show up, come in, do the work, show what you value. When we talk about all the values that we've brought together at this school, it's not enough to just say, ooh, this is Pono, ooh, this is Kuleana. No, show what is Pono. Show your kuleana, malama the kids as much as you can. These things, when the community sees it, when the kids see you, and when the teachers see you stepping in, those things add credibility to what you do, and ultimately, your staff, your students, and your community will come together around everything that you value. Everyone a leader, everyone a learner, we is greater than me. Thank you for giving me the time, and hopefully this works for you in some way, shape, or form.